and welcome to a brand new episode of Ukulele Jam Kit. This is the first of 4 weekly parts which include a chord progression, scale, strum pattern, and a riff. This week we're going to be working on a new chord progression. If you'd like to see how these different parts work together, check out the first 4 parts of episode 1 in the description below. Today we're going to learn a 1-4-5-1 chord progression in the key of F major, and we're going to use some pretty unique chord voicings to do this. It's going to create what we call an ascending bass line, which sounds really neat. And we'll talk more about what that is as we learn it, but for now, let's go ahead and dive in. The first chord you're going to play is one of my all-time favorites on the ukulele. It's called an F add 9. It's one of the first chords I learned, actually, because all that it is taking your index finger and placing it here on the first fret of the E string. And that's it. Nothing else is going to take place here. And it sounds something like this. It's a nice, almost jazzy, kind of open sound. What's cool about this F add 9 is you can use this in place of an F chord. About 95% of the time you would play an F, you could play an F add 9, and it'll sound good. So the next chord from here is going to be what's called a B flat 6 chord. Now to play this, we're going to take this index finger and we're going to bar it across the first fret of the E and the A strings. So you see that this finger from the F add 9 kind of collapses over those two. Then we're going to take our middle finger and place it on the second fret of the C string. Now this is pretty tricky if you haven't done a bar before. It takes a little bit of finger yoga to get the flexibility, but with practice it'll come. A quick tip is get right up next to those fret wires with your fingers, and that can really help make the tone easier. And that's it. That's a B flat 6 chord, which just like the F add 9, you can usually use in place of a B flat chord, and it sounds really nice. It's a little easier too because it doesn't use that extra finger. So that's our B flat 6 chord. The next chord we're going to do is a C chord, and it's really neat because we're just going to take these 2 fingers and we're going to slide them up 2 frets so that the middle finger goes to fret 4 of the C string and the index is now barred across the 3 on the E and the A strings. And that sounds something like this. And then the last chord we're going to play, going back to the 1 chord, is going to be an F add 9 again. But it's not going to be the one down here, it's going to be up higher. And the way we play this, starting with our C chord, is we're going to take our middle finger, slide it up to the 5th fret of the C string, add our ring finger to the 5th fret of the E string, and our index finger here to the 3rd fret of the A. Something that really helps when trying to finger this chord is to point your fingers out towards your shoulder. You see, they're not straight up and down, but they're pointed sort of out towards my shoulder here to let them all sort of squeeze into place. Now that 0, 5, 5, 3 sounds something like this. A lot like this chord. They're the same chord, just the notes are in different places. You can hear that sort of sound. So when we're practicing this progression together, finger angle is very important. When we play the first chord, the F add 9, hand is straight up and down. When we play the second chord, the B flat 6, hand is straight up and down. We just slide it up 2 frets, hand is still straight up and down. And then the trick to playing this last chord, we slide the middle finger up, and then we turn our hand to be angled more towards the shoulder. So let's go ahead and try playing these chords really, really slowly all together. So we're going to play the F, and we're going to do 4 downstrokes just with our thumb, nice and easy. It should sound something like this. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch with the pivot. 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Now notice at the beginning I talked about an ascending bass line, and what that is what the C string is doing. If you look at the first chord to the second chord, it goes up, and then to the third chord, it goes up again, and then on the 4th and final chord, it goes up another time. That C string on a standard high G ukulele is our bass note. And so with this, we're creating this nice little ascending bass line as we go up, which makes it sound just that much cooler. Now, if you'd like to download a PDF with these chords, as well as the other things that are going to be covered in the Ukulele Jam Kit, please check out my Patreon page. It's thanks to my patrons I'm able to make these videos as well as other song tutorials. So please check that out in the description below if you haven't already. And there you have it. That is our 1-4-5-1 progression in F, with the 1 chord being the first F add 9, the 4 chord being the B flat 6, the 5 chord being the C, and the other one being the other F add 9. In the following weeks, we're going to build off of these chords, so getting comfortable with the fingerings will help when you're working on the next layers to add to our jam session in the coming weeks. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week when we cover some scale stuff to be able to take this jam to the next level. Take it easy, have a great week.